Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is If Loving You Was Wrong, Season 4, Episode 13, and the name of this episode is Hanging in the Balance. Wow, this was a really good episode, y'all, so let me begin. The episode picks up where it left off. Larry's in his car, and we see that Eddie is in the back seat, holding Larry at gunpoint. And he's pretty much telling him to drive, and he's pretty much trying to talk Eddie out of it and everything, and Eddie ain't budging. So it gets to the point where they keep going back and forth. Eddie ends up pulling out a stun gun, literally starts beating the shit out of him. He hits him with the gun, and then when he tried to escape the car, Eddie beat the snot out of Larry and literally knocked Larry unconscious. Now, he knocked him so bad that he knocked him over into the passenger seat. He comes from the back seat into the front seat. Then we see Larry's feet is all up on the seat. Like, he done knocked him out so bad, he literally got Larry on the floor, and his feet is on the seat. I was like, oh my God, Eddie is so mad because he has completely bitched Eddie out, and Eddie is not feeling it whatsoever. Now, while that's going on, back at Larry's firm, Travis Kane's family is there ready for the press conference. It's a press conference that he called for, but he's not there. So, Ian, along with the other attorney, they're completely, are like shitting bricks because it's like, oh my God, they're here, and how are we gonna deal with this? They keep trying to call Larry, but they're not able to reach Larry. We see later on that it's because Larry got his hands, and of course we know it's because Larry's got his hands tied. So I'm like, that damn Eddie is really fucking shit up right now. So then we see that back with Larry and Eddie has literally chained him up exactly the same way that Larry chained up Eddie at Randall's house. But Eddie has him chained up in this abandoned truck somewhere. And all of a sudden, he's torturing him, and then Larry's, is kind of out of it because he knocked him out. But then Larry starts to come to, and he's like, you son of a bitch, really? And then Eddie is pretty much, is like really interrogating him like, yo, you really think you're going to do something like this and get away with it? You didn't, my girl knows about this, the whole squad knows about this, everybody knows about what you did to me. And he says, man, I ain't do nothing to you. So he starts beating his ass, and he's saying, I ain't do nothing to you. He's saying, so Randall did. He's like, no, Randall had nothing to do with it. All I did was that you were passed out. All I did was tie you up, and I just undressed you. So, according to Larry, he didn't do anything physical to him, but, because he was out of it most of the time. So, Eddie is just mad as hell because Larry keeps antagonizing him because, Larry's into this S&M and rough play. So it's somewhat getting them off, but then it gets to a point where Larry realizes he's literally out in the middle of nowhere, can't nobody hear him, and he starts screaming for help, and Eddie starts to beat Larry's ass. So Larry is late for his press conference and everything, and he was even trying to beg Eddie, like, please, just let me go and I won't say anything. He's like, oh, no, the party's just begun, motherfucker. I'm about to get my revenge. And lo and behold, that's exactly what he does. Back at the firm, Ian is going crazy because, Travis's family is ready to do this press conference. They are asking that Kelly gets no bail. Ian gets a call from Lucian. Lucian pretty much is telling him, look, I've been trying to call you. because I've been trying to reach that lawyer you gave me, and he's not answering his phone. And he's like, well, he's probably in court. Was like, no, but I need to reach him now because Kelly needs a lawyer. You know, you said this guy is good, but I haven't been able to reach him. What's going on? He's like, look, I'm doing the best I can, but you have no idea how crazy things are over here. And he's like, yeah, but you don't imagine how crazy things are getting for Kelly because Kelly's sitting in the cell without no representation. And he's like, can you actually give the guy a call so he can actually call me? Because I've been calling him and he hasn't been answering. So Ian agrees that he's going to give the lawyer a call. Then we go back to the house with Alex and Brad. And I'm really over these two. I really am. Because Alex is still begging and pleading, I'm sorry, I love you, and I didn't go over there, I didn't say anything to him, I promise I didn't. And he's like, okay, fine, I'm over it. He's like, but what is it that I have to do? I'll do anything, you know, I'll do anything. And he's like, stop talking to him, don't talk to him anymore. And if he bothers you, walk away. That's what I want you to do. I'm like, Brad, you already know that she done spread it wide open for your next door neighbor. You decided to come back. The next door neighbor is still there. So, what did you think was going to happen? Because Randall is antagonizing not just her, but he's also antagonizing you. So, you didn't think that was going to be a problem, and here it is, you're blaming Alex for all of this. But yeah, I mean, trust me, I really have I really gives no fucks when it comes to Alex. But Brad, you up here mad over a situation that you already knew existed, but you're just here, you know, mad as hell. Like, bro, you actually thought you were going to go back to the way things were after all of this happened? I mean, I can see why you would forgive her because you know you guys have history, you still have love for her. But what makes you think you was gonna move back into that house and things were gonna go back to the way they were, and that Randall wasn't gonna be involved? Especially when it comes down to it, Randall's probably the father of that baby. I still think he is. There ain't no jury out here that says that he isn't. I mean, even though that DNA test says he's not. But Alice is claiming she didn't have sex with anybody else. So yeah, it's Randall's baby. It's just that Randall don't know. You know, he's still believing it's Lucian's baby. It just goes to show you how psychotic Psycho Betty really is. So, pretty much we saw that go on, you know, because like, you know, we just see that Brad is still very distant with Alex, all in his feelings. But I don't feel sorry for Brad because, Brad, you put yourself back in that situation. So, you get what you get with it. I mean, me personally, I think you should have just stayed the hell away and could have still been rocking with Marcy, but you wanted to go back to Alex. So, you know, deal with it, bruh. That's all I got to say about it. So, then, oh yeah, I already talked about that, you know. Yes, Larry is literally getting messed up right now. Big time. So then we go to the actual jail with Kelly and Esperanza. You know, Kelly is definitely distraught, you know, because she hasn't heard from a lawyer. She hasn't heard from Lucian. She's literally in panic mode. And she's saying that, you know, this is around the time Justice is about to get off of school. But she said, Esperanza told her that Nellie's going to pick him up today, and I'll pick him up tomorrow. We got him. Don't worry. Everything's going to be okay. And, you know, and she admits that she hasn't heard from Lucian or her lawyer. And he's like, could you please check up on that? She says, I will. But then she's like, I need to get out of here. And then, you know, Kelly, in a way, kind of knows the kind of family that Travis comes from. And she's like, these people have done horrible things. You just have no idea. And, of course, Esperanza's like, yeah, I know. And then all of a sudden, This damn Kelly, and I swear I want to choke her ass because she still keeps talking. Look, I did what I had to do. He wasn't going to stop messing with me, so I did what I did because he wouldn't leave me alone. I'm like, that's how I feel about Kelly right now. Like, girl, you do not shut up, you stupid bitch. Why are you talking? You have no legal representation, so anything you say can be held against you. One of those prisoners can hear it, and because they're trying to get off, they're going to sell your ass out so they can get a better deal with the courts. She just being, but she's in panic mode, and she ain't thinking straight. So, and it just really was making me mad. Like, I'm like, I really want to shake the living shit out of her, because why are you talking about the case? Like, you literally admitting that you killed him. So, Esperanza told her that, look, she's going to find Lucian, and she's going to try to help get to the bottom of this and find out what's going on. Oh, yeah, but before she leaves, she definitely, Kelly tells Esperanza that, you know, Justice really acts out when he gets upset, and he can really become a handful, but all you have to do is talk to him, and he eventually will calm down. You know, and then, he kind of gets like that when, you know, when his mama missing and he don't know what's going on. So next, we have a scene with Brad and Randall. Brad comes outside, and Randall's there. They go back and forth. Randall talking big shit. Oh yes, I'm got a lawsuit coming, and you know I'm about to own everything, including your house. And then Brad was like, you know what? Once you get off that, once you get out that ladder for old time's sake, so I can kick your ass off it again. I was like, yeah. And then he's like, yeah, but it doesn't matter because you know I'm gonna own your house, and I also owned your wife, but she wasn't worth it. And then Brad was like, but I actually own your wife, and she is worth it. You know, if anything, you know, she's pregnant with my baby. You know, he's already starting to kicking. He's already starting kicking. He's kicking just like I kicked you off that damn ladder. I was like, Brad, you frog as fuck for that. But I was so loving it, and he was just antagonizing it and rubbing it in to the point that Psycho Betty started to get into his feelings, and he started to walk away. And also like, what's wrong, Randall? Guess the tables have turned, huh? You can't take it. So of course, Psycho Betty, somebody who doesn't like to be undone, turns around and was like, he was like, well, you know, and then he still kind of throws jabs about, you know, Alex and all of that. And then he's still saying that, you know, I got that lawsuit coming. And he was like, okay, bring it. Do what you got to do. Little do you know, Randall, that lawsuit ain't going to come no time soon because your boo Larry is getting tortured and getting used and abused by Eddie's ass. So that's the end of that. Next, we have a scene with Lucian and Esperanza. And let me say, this scene gave me life because Lucian got Esperanza's ass all the way together. I mean, when he got done with her, you could sell her ass for 50 cents at the local county fair. That's how he got her ass together in this scene. Because they start, pretty much Esperanza asked about Kelly and all that, you know. And she pretty much talks about, you know, well, have you been able to get in touch with a lawyer? He's like, no, her former lawyer gave me recommendations, but this guy's not answering his phone, and this guy's not answering my calls. And Esperanza's like, look, this is serious. You know, do you realize that this is a whole high-profile case? And she says that, look, you know, this family knows everybody. They know a lot of high-powered people. And then she pretty much says that, do you really trust this attorney Ian? because the fact that he works with the firm that's representing Travis's family, he probably gave you a bad referral. So I think about it. They're representing that family. What makes you think he's going to give you a good lawyer to represent Kelly? And I'm like, Esperanza got a good point. This is the first time Esperanza making some sense. She's kind of getting Lucian to think, like, bruh, you probably, like, Ian could possibly be pulling the wool over your eyes because, you know, why would he help you with Kelly when, you know, obviously he's with you know, representing Travis's family. And then she's like, do you really know Ian? He's like, yeah, he's a friend. She's like, oh, he's your friend? He's like, well, he's a business associate. And she's like, well, that doesn't sound like a friend to me. But he's like, but he's a confidant. And, you know, I've worked with him many times over the years. Well, she's like, well, you're confident in him, but I'm not. So, yeah, this doesn't look right to me. And then she's saying that, look, I want to help, you know, I want to be involved, you know, I'm worried about my friend, you know, because she could get life in prison. And then she talks about that on the news, well, on the press conference, the mother is talking buku shit about Kelly, you know, saying that she was stalking him and all of that. And then the father speaking bad about her, and so is Travis's fiance. And she said that, look, we know who Kelly is, but perception is reality. And due to the fact that they have so much pull, now that they got the media on their team, it's not looking good for her. So pretty much, you know, he said that, look, I'm gonna talk to Ian and find out what's going on. But yeah, I'm gonna do what I can. I'm doing all I can to help Kelly, and you know, that's all what it matters to. And she's like, okay, fine, I'm with that. But then he flips on her ass, and he was like, yeah, but you know, yeah, that is a good idea. But while thinking about this, you should be very careful when you're fraternizing at the workplace. And she's all, come again? What? And she says, and he's like, well, think about the situation with Eddie. You two work together, and at one point things were good, but then things have gone into a totally different direction. I mean, but at the end of the day, I know you're a grown woman, but, you know, I'm just saying. So she's like, so what are you trying to say? You know, I know Eddie's a creep. I mean, are you trying to say that about Steven? He's like, oh, no, Steven's a good guy. I'm just saying, if you're going to play this game, know the rules. I'm like, okay, Lucian, I'm feeling you, bruh. And then she's like, oh, so let me guess. Steven told you about us, huh? And he was like, no, you did. And he was like, what are you talking about? I didn't say anything. He's like, actually, you did, because, you know, when I pretty much said fraternizing at the workplace, I was actually talking about Travis and Kelly, because didn't Travis meet Kelly at her job? Okay. And, oh yeah, and while we're at it, boom. Oh yes. Your face just says everything. I was like, you better get her ass, Lucian. She looked spent so badly, it was too much. I was like, you better get her motherfucking ass. I was so happy. And, you know, and it's like she just kind of looked dumbfounded, because I'm like, boo-boo. You know, she thinking that everything she does is this big secret, but you up in everybody else's business. Now you know your business out here in the street, and everybody can clock it. I mean, it's obvious when you and Steven's in the room. Y'all make it obvious that something's going on. I mean, hell, even Lucian clocked it the night that y'all was outside, because he came in there all fresh and clean, like he James Dean about about to do like a car race or some shit, you know, like Rebel Without a Cause. That's exactly what Steven was given that night. So when he did that to Esperanza, I was laughing my ass off. I was like, I love Lucian, because Lucian just be clocking the bullshit, and I'm so happy that he did. Then we get a scene. Alex is pushing the baby in the stroller. Randall starts antagonizing her and everything, and I'm just like, Psycho Betty ain't gonna be happy till somebody put a bullet in his chest, because that's what's gonna stop him, because he is just in his mind, he's right, and no matter what you say or do, you're never gonna be able to talk him off that ledge. So he's still going back and forth with her and everything. She gets to the point where she starts slapping him because he won't leave her alone. And he's just like, oh, what the hell you gonna do about it? Talking big shit. I'm like, bruh, you wouldn't be talking to her like that if Brad was there, because Brad would be whooping your ass. So it's like Randall, knows to do that tough boy shit. He knows when to do that, and then he knows when to not go so far with it, because he knows damn well that, when it comes down to Brad will fuck him up. And Brad has done it time again. Like, I even lived when he pushed him off that ladder. That was everything. Because Psycho Betty be doing too damn much. So, all of a sudden, she's like, he starts blocking her path, and he won't leave her alone, so she decides to go the other way. This dumbass starts running behind her, antagonizing her, messing with her, just fucking with her. And then all of a sudden, Natalie comes out of her house, and he's like, man, take your ghetto ass back in there. She's like, oh, you remember I cut your ass the last time, right? She's like, yeah, I still have the scars. And she was like, yeah. Would you like to add would you like to add a hot lead pipe to that shit? So I was just like, oh yeah. So yeah, because I was living when Natalie was slicing him up in the hospital, and he was calling her ghetto and all that, and she was just I'm like, that's a chick from the hood. Like, she know how to use a box cutter or use a razor. Like, shoot. So he still continues to antagonize them. So she pretends. So Natalie goes crazy and starts falling out and saying, "No, help me! He's attacking me! He's attacking me! Somebody call! Somebody get help!" And she just starts panicking. He's like, "Ain't nothing wrong with you. Get your ass up! Get your ass up!" And he's like, "All right, fine." And he runs off, and I'm like, yes! And like, Alex is just cracking up. Because she kind of lets him know, like, look, this is how you deal with him. When he get crazy, you get crazier. That's how the way you play it. Because at the end of the day, that's just how the way you're going to have to deal with him, because, you need to get on top of this, because at the end of the day, you started this. You're going to have to fix this. So I was actually glad that, Natalie had that talk with her, and she also apologized for lying about it being Lucian's baby and all that. And she's like, I'm not mad at you. I'm past that. But, right now, but she says, I'll walk you to your house and everything, but you need to do something about this. Because at the end of the day, it's, you're pretty much responsible for all of this happening. So you need to get this situation under control. So she's like, so what are you going to do? She's like, I don't know. Well, that was like, you need to figure out something. So we saw that go down. Then, and I like this scene too, we get a scene where Ian finally, goes out to dinner with Marcy. They start talking about Kelly, and this kind of made me mad with Ian, because I'm like, Ian, she's fucking innocent, and you are literally folding your hand, and you're going to let this girl get railroaded by Travis's family, when and you got proof that Travis was the one stalking her. And pretty much, Kelly's like, and pretty much Marcy's like, man, it's just, this situation is crazy on so many levels, and it's messed up that you're not representing her. And he's like, yeah, I know, it's horrible. And then, like, Marcy's like, well, you don't believe she did this. And he's like, I know she didn't do this. I believe her. And she's like, well, how did you know? He's like, well, I talked to her. Like, that ain't all you did. You actually got proof that she's not lying. The proof that everybody pretty much could have put together, but as again, Travis's family, they're their influence goes a mile long. So probably a lot of people they had on their payroll. Because we definitely know that first DA she talked to, we knew that she's a member of Travis's church. And we know this last DA that just put her in jail, his wife is a member of the church. So this church influence, is very big in Maxine. So, and even to the point that it's even folded in because Ian is a part of the firm that represents them. So they pretty much had this conversation, and they're kind of like match wits because we know that Ian pretty much we can definitely see that Ian is a smooth operator, and he's definitely trying to get at Marcy. But Marcy's also kind of smooth with her stuff too because she's a realtor, so she definitely knows how to read people. So she reads and says that you're a lawyer, but you have a heart, unlike most of them. You're complicated and you're tough, but yet at times you're softy. And he says in some aspects I'm a softy, but not all. She's like, oh, okay. So pretty much she starts asking, so do you know if Kelly's innocent? And he's like, I'm not privy to talk about my client. And he's like, and then Marcy's like, well, he's not your client. She's not your client anymore, so you can talk about it. Next thing you know, she notices across the room Esperanza and Steven over there. And Esperanza is feeling and getting her damn life because she got the damn shoulders out. She is getting Diana Ross at the damn table and shit. And I'm like, oh, Esperanza. Okay, bitch. I see you. Yeah, you got the girls out. You got the shoulders out. Yeah, you really feeling Steven. And Marcy went over there to start talking to them, and it was kind of, you could tell that Esperanza was kind of, like shell-shocked. And I'm like, girl, really? But then Marcy's like, she actually recognized Steven, but she's like, you look kind of different outside of your work clothes. And she's like, better? And she's like, yeah, you too, yeah. But then, she was saying that, they pretty much were talking about Kelly and the whole situation. But then she says that, I'm here on dinner with a client. And, once Marcy leaves, the two of them start talking, and Esperanza's like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Oh, and like Steven was like, what's the problem? And he's like, everything's cool. He's like, well, I just don't want everybody in my business. I'm like, bitch, if you want somebody up in your business, then learn to stay out of everybody else's, because you all up in everybody's shit. You and them hooker heels you be wearing. You always up in somebody's situation when you should be holding your mouth. But anyway. So the two of them go back and forth, and it's so evident that there is chemistry between Steven and Esperanza. And I'm kind of liking it. I'm kind of wanting to see where this goes between them because, Esperanza's been acting like a hot tamale since we've known her. And we definitely know that Eddie is obviously sprung over Esperanza because he don't want no one touching that. And, that's pretty much baby mama puss, so he really feels that belongs to him. But it's cool seeing her on a date, and he's kind of loosening her up, and, he's saying that, let's have some drinks and just have a good time. Let's not think about this. Let it be just about me and you. And she's like, well, I don't drink that much. She's like, girl, stop playing. You literally, the last time we hung out, you literally, drunk that whole bottle by yourself. And she's like, well, I had to get in the mood. And he asks for 2 glasses of wine or whatever. And she's like, oh no, tequila, shots. And all of a sudden, Steven's like, oh, shots, okay. You talking about something I don't drink? And I was like, oh yeah, this is really cute. It was cool seeing them on the little date. I mean, but hey, it goes even more to add that what Lucian said about her was right. So I was actually here for that. Let's see. Oh yeah, I talked about that. Okay. Then we get the last scene of this episode. Alex is pretty much there with the baby, and the baby looks so adorable. She puts the baby to sleep, and then all of a sudden, Psycho Betty starts blasting his damn music again. And I'm like, see, Psycho Betty ain't gonna learn until somebody beat his ass. But then again, he's had his ass beat multiple times and he still keeps coming back. I mean, something is like completely off with Randall, aka Psycho Betty. Like, he is like a monster like no other. So Alex goes out there and tells him he needs to turn the music off, you need to turn it down. And he's kind of acting like, oh, I can't hear you and all this shit, you know. And then all of a sudden, you know, she's getting to the point where she just had enough. So she gets the water hose and starts spraying this out of his car. Then she gets in there and literally turns the car off. He's like, what the hell are you doing on my car? She's like, look, I'm getting sick of your bullshit. You know, what the hell is, like, why the hell are you doing this? And she said, and he's like, newsflash, you haven't figured out that I'm not sane? Like, have you figured it out that I'm crazy? Like, hello? I'm like, see, Randall, you ain't gonna be happy that somebody killed your ass, because you are really asking for somebody to fucking kill you. But, you know, they start talking, you know, because after she promised Brad she wasn't gonna talk to him, they end up talking, and she's like, why did you lie to my husband about us seeing each other? And he said, we were seeing each other. Like, no, I have not seen you recently, and I didn't tell you anything about Marcy. You know, and then he's like, well, the thing is, you know, well, her and Brad are having that kid. I mean, and then like, you know, Alice is like, it's not Brad's child. And I'm like, here this bitch go. So I'm like, here you go. And then she's like, well, whose child is it? And she tells him it's yours. And then the next thing you know, we see Brad pulling up in the damn car, seeing this bitch talking to Randall, and he pulls off. And she's, Brad, no! I'm like, bitch, you just promised him that you weren't going to talk to his ass, and he come home later on after work and see you talking to him. So, bitch, you pretty much kind of making yourself look bad, because Brad already don't trust your ass, but then again, I don't give a fuck about Brad at this point because Brad put himself in this situation. But I'm like, that part had me rolling too. So I'm like, bitch, you just told this man you weren't going to talk to him no more. He come outside and see you talking to Randall. But that's where it left off. So if I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. I have them listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I will be back with the next episode of The Loving You Is Wrong. So until next time, everybody, take care.